The Institute is part of our ongoing celebration of our 100-year anniversary, where we have been drawing on our ongoing legacy of policy and professional development work to help inform solutions of today and tomorrow.
You know, you have been a great thought leader on a lot of those things. I say to you and the folks in this audience, we need your help. You know, we're obviously going to be running these programs, but we can't do it alone. We obviously need the help of all the transportation community and all our stakeholders and thought leaders to help us get this right.
We kind of provide, I would almost say, systemic excuses as to why we can't do something, as opposed to why we should do something.
We really need to center our planning around the communities that we're looking to serve and really sort of hear their unique concerns.
You can prioritize curb ramps and accessible sidewalks, especially in neighborhoods where it's most needed. You are increasing accessibility in a major way.
I think that cybersecurity has sort of been an afterthought for a long time in transportation. I think there was a sense of why would anybody come after the transportation system?
I think transportation has to understand that we're now both the means and the end in a lot of cases, and we need to prepare for that.
There's also a growing recognition and acceptance by many in industry that on the issue of cybersecurity, self-regulation often doesn't work.
Our entire welfare of our communities is dependent upon our ability to provide connectivity to housing and to jobs, to community resources, to healthcare, to education, and transit is a huge part of that.
The success of our public transportation systems is critical to the economic health and sustainable growth of our nation. And an extensive transit network really creates better connections to jobs, schools, healthcare, and other critical opportunities that you all have underscored time and time again through your research.
Now, one thing that I can say for sure, that things are changing in the whole area of aviation. And again, the sky's no longer the limit. We're in space now.
How do we balance growing the sector, keeping pace with this huge demand, but at the same time do it in a sustainable manner?
Those things have to be looked at and begin to be addressed if we're going to give the traveling public those types of experiences they deserve.
Where we now have a standard that we know what works, and we need to make sure that we keep that in place moving forward.
You know, the recovery from COVID, both, you know, all of us individually and how it's affecting our lives, will then affect what's most key to the carriers.
What COVID has done and what the huge shift in the purchasing habits of the American consumer away from travel, entertainment, and experiences and into goods purchasing has done is not only created historically high volumes, but it's laid bare a lot of underlying problems that were there before, but are now just unbelievably exposed.
There's a lot of hurdles there that I think that, you know, there needs government support and working with private industry on. There's a benefit to all of it. All these people are talking about supply chains that never used to talk about it.
In addressing resiliency, that is a constant focus as we make infrastructure investments, and maintaining that for the future is a huge priority.
Oftentimes, obviously, it's about the ribbon cuttings. It's about checking the box that, you know, we're delivering on this earmark project. Great, I got the credit. Now I'm going to work on, you know, a bunch of these other very important and worthwhile issues. But being able to kind of, I think, you know, get a more holistic understanding of why this is such a fundamental need at every level of government, I think that's going to help in the long run.
So, you know, we talk about the new transportation normal, and I think we're really at a turning point in which our nation's diverse and multimodal transportation system needs have become so glaring that we can no longer ignore them. It's a consequential moment, and there's no better place to be than talking with our colleagues at ENO about how we're all going to face that future.